Hi students, this section is working with addition of real numbers. So when we're working with addition with numbers, there are different addition properties that you are going to see in this chapter. And you'll see it a lot throughout working with algebra. You might have already seen these addition properties before, but the first one is the commutative property of addition. And what that means is the order in which two numbers are added does not change the sum of those numbers. So here we have an example of a plus b equals b plus a. These terms here I do want you writing down along with the examples. An example here is 3 plus negative 2 means the same as negative 2 plus 3. You get the same answer on both sides, 1. The associative property, this is the way you group three numbers when an addition does not change the sum. So if you have a plus b plus c, if you put parentheses in the first set, a and b, equals a plus b plus c, put parentheses around the b and c, it's going to equal the same on both sides. So the way you put those parentheses, whether it's between the a and b or b and c, it's going to equal the same. Notice our example here, we have negative 5 plus 6, parentheses around that, plus 2. So that's going to give me 1 plus 2, 3. Or here we have negative 5 plus 6 plus 2. So we have 8 plus negative 5, which also gives me 3. The identity property is the sum of a number and 0. That's going to equal the number. So for instance, if you have a plus 0, that's going to equal a. Example here, negative 4 plus 0, that's going to give me negative 4. The property of 0, that's inverse property, so that's when you add the sum of a number and its opposite is going to equal 0. So a plus negative a equals 0. So if you had, for instance, 5 plus negative 5, that's going to equal 0. So let's get into some examples working with addition with real numbers here. It says use the number line to find the sum of negative 3 plus 5 plus a negative 6. So we're going to use the number line to help us solve this. When it asks to use a number line when you show your work and solve, I'd like for you to write the number line and show your work. So here, where are we starting? You always start with the first number here, negative 3, so I'll put a point at negative 3. And we're going to add 5 to that. So adding 5, we're going to jump to the right. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I added 5. We get to 2. And then from there, we're going to add a negative 6. Well, adding a negative 6, that means we're going to go from 2 left 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to end up at the answer, negative 4. So my answer to this is going to be negative 4. Notice how I showed my jumps on the number line. I'd like for you to do that in your bookwork as well. Last example here, we're finding the sum of the following. For A, we're working with decimals, so we have 1.4 plus negative 2.6. Adding a negative means we're subtracting. 1.4 minus 2.6. And then we're adding 3.1. Now with addition, order does not matter. So honestly, I would add 1.4 and 3.1 first. So we're going to get here 4.5. And then from 4.5, we're now going to add a negative 2.6, which means subtract 2.6 from that. So 15 minus 6 gives me 9. 3 minus 2 is 1. So my answer to A is going to be 1.9. For B, we have negative half plus 3 plus half. Well, negative half and positive half, they cancel out to be 0. So you're actually just left with an answer of 3 there for B. So that is it for this lesson, and we'll continue with bookwork examples in class.